Did you know there's a hidden organ in your body that filters over 240 liters of blood every day, silently saving your life? It's not your heart, liver, or kidneys. It's your spleen. From hunting bacteria to recycling old blood cells, this underappreciated organ is a silent guardian of your immune system. Stay tuned as we unravel the incredible science behind how your spleen truly cleans your blood and why it matters more than you think. Most people never think about their spleen until it's removed, but this small, fist-sized organ, located just under your left rib cage, plays a massive role in keeping you alive and healthy. The spleen acts as a dynamic blood filter and immune system powerhouse. It holds a reservoir of blood, monitors for infections, and removes damaged or old red blood cells. According to Harvard Medical School, the spleen is responsible for clearing out around 1% of old red blood cells daily, roughly 200 million cells per day. Structurally, the spleen has two key zones, red pulp and white pulp. The red pulp is where blood is filtered and aged cells are broken down. The white pulp, meanwhile, is where immune cells like lymphocytes detect and respond to pathogens. When harmful bacteria or viruses enter your bloodstream, the spleen identifies them and launches an immune response almost instantly. It's also rich in macrophages, white blood cells that eat bacteria and cell debris. So while the spleen may not pump like the heart or filter toxins like the liver, it's quietly working around the clock to defend your body and purify your blood. Let's zoom into the red pulp, the part of the spleen responsible for cleaning your blood. Every second, your blood flows through a complex network of sinusoids, tiny vessels lined with macrophages, which act like microscopic janitors. These specialized cells identify and remove damaged, misshapen, or old red blood cells. But how do they know which cells to remove? Red blood cells live about 120 days. As they age, their membranes become less flexible. The spleen's narrow passageways force red blood cells to squeeze through. Only healthy ones make it out. The stiff, old ones get stuck and are then engulfed by macrophages. These macrophages break the cells down and recycle key components. For example, iron from hemoglobin is salvaged and sent back to the bone marrow to create new red cells. This recycling process not only maintains healthy blood composition but also prevents iron deficiency. Studies published in journals, like Blood Reviews, have confirmed the spleen's critical role in iron metabolism and erythrocyte quality control. So, in essence, your spleen doesn't just remove old cells, it renews your blood every day. While red pulp handles the blood cleanup, white pulp is the spleen's immune operations center. Imagine a military base where soldiers' B cells, T cells, and antigen-presenting cells train and deploy. The white pulp is structured similarly. Two lymph nodes and functions to detect and fight infections. When pathogens like Streptococcus pneumonia or Plasmodium malaria enter the bloodstream, the spleen quickly identifies them. Antigen-presenting cells display pieces of the invader to T and B lymphocytes, which then activate and produce specific antibodies. According to a study from the Journal of Immunology, the spleen can generate a full immune response within hours of detecting a pathogen in the blood, making it crucial for fighting bloodborne infections. In fact, people who have had their spleens removed, a condition called asplenia, are more vulnerable to sepsis, a life-threatening reaction to infection. Doctors often vaccinate such patients against encapsulated bacteria, as they no longer have the spleen's rapid detection system. In short, your spleen is constantly scanning your blood for enemies ready to strike and neutralize them before you even feel sick. Did you know your spleen stores about 30% of your body's platelets at any given time? Platelets are essential for blood clotting, and the spleen plays a strategic role in balancing their circulation. In case of trauma or injury, the spleen can rapidly release stored platelets into the bloodstream to aid in clotting and reduce blood loss. This reservoir function becomes especially critical during hemorrhagic events, like accidents or surgeries. But there's a catch. In certain diseases like cirrhosis or hypersplenism, the spleen can become enlarged and sequester to many platelets, leading to a low platelet count or thrombocytopenia. This can cause bruising, bleeding gums, or excessive bleeding during minor injuries. Clinical studies from institutions like Mayo Clinic show that monitoring spleen size and platelet counts is essential in liver disease management. It highlights how intimately the spleen is linked to your vascular health. So, the next time you think of blood clotting or wound healing, remember that your spleen is silently working in the background, stockpiling platelets, regulating flow, and saving your life. Can you live without a spleen? Yes, but it comes at a cost. People who undergo splenectomy, surgical spleen removal due to trauma, disease, or enlargement face a higher lifelong risk of infections, particularly from bacteria like Streptococcus, pneumonia, Neisseria, meningitis, and Haemophilus influenzae. That's because without the spleen, your body loses its first line of bloodborne defense. Your liver and bone marrow try to compensate, but they're not as efficient. Studies from the Lancet Infectious Diseases reveal that asplenic individuals are up to 50 times more likely to develop sepsis compared to those with intact spleens. Doctors recommend vaccinations, prophylactic antibiotics, and fast medical response to fevers in splenectomized patients. They're also advised to carry medical alert tags. Interestingly, researchers are exploring bioengineered spleen tissue to restore some functions in the future, though it's still experimental. So while the spleen may be considered non-essential, it's far from redundant. It's a silent sentinel that keeps your blood clean, your immune system sharp, and your body protected from microbial invaders.